M.W. branch.
And what year did you go to Keizer?
I went to the Keizer School in 1959.
What do you remember most?
What do I remember? Mrs. Maynard, my school teacher, looking out the school window and seeing cattle grazing in the field, and her telling us about teaching in one-room schoolhouses, and then I started band class, and we had band in the back building of the school grounds.
She was your favorite teacher?
Well, yes. The only teacher I had in Keizer, because I had gone to Cummings before. A lot of us went from Cummings to Keizer in that year.
Anything else you might want to add? Anything at all?
Oh, that's about it. Other than that was a centennial year, so we made pictures and everything of the covered wagons and all that stuff, and pioneers, and some of it went to Washington, D.C., so that was kind of neat.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Teresa Haynes,
And what year did you go to Keizer Elementary?
2nd through 6th. So 1956 through 61.
And what was your most memorable experience or favorite experience?
Oh, my favorite teacher was Mrs. Young.
And why was that?
Just nice, just nicest. You may remember all your teachers, but she was the one I liked the best, I guess.
Was there something special that you liked about her, or just other than nice?
Yeah, just really nice. You know, never really bothered her.
Fair enough. Any other memories you might want to share from Keizer Elementary?
Oh, gee. I remember 5th grade, I didn't like that because I got a teacher I didn't like. That stuck with me for a
We
while.
won't put his name for posterity.
That's a good idea. And, oh, I don't know. It was just day to day. I had some real good friends, you know, that I went through school with, and I liked it there, you know. Sorry I don't have more exciting events.
That's absolutely perfect.
Nelson.
And what years did you go to Keizer Elementary?
I went there in 49 and just the first part of 50 for the last 3 months of the 7th grade and the 8th grade.
Oh. What do you remember most about Keizer Elementary?
I just remember a lot of the kids that I met, a few of them that I still see today in places. And then, of course, my teacher, Mrs. Weddle, she was just wonderful, and I just loved her.
What grade did she teach?
She taught the 8th grade.
8th grade?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then if I can say this,
Sure.
when my daughters were born and grew up and started school at Kennedy Grade School, Mrs. Weddle was their principal. And I always just really got a kick out of that.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I just was really excited about this and just so pleased they were having this reunion for a 100-year-old school. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. What was your maiden name when you went to school?
My name is Evelyn Nelson, maiden name, and I went to school at Keizer Elementary from 1927 to 1934.
What was your favorite memory of Keizer? What was your favorite memory?
Well, it was just a wonderful 8 years of being with everybody, different ages, and it was a simple time.
Did you have a favorite teacher?
Well, I liked all of my teachers, and I guess maybe I related more to my 7th and 8th grade teacher, Miss Janet Kirk.
Why is that? Why did you like her?
Well, let's see. Janet Kirk was a small, dark-haired person, and to me, she was older, but I think back now she wasn't much older than I was. And in the 7th and 8th grade, our age groups, I look back now, weren't that much different. And I guess maybe because of the age difference might have helped.
Anything else you want to add?
Pardon?
Anything else?
No, that's fine.
Hi. I started at Keizer Elementary teaching, and I was Miss Leaning, and then I got married like my first full-time year there. So then I became Mrs. Chin.
What years did you teach?
I taught from 1982 to 1986, and then we closed out the old building and I went on to the new school. I taught at Keizer altogether for 12 years.
And what do you have a favorite memory of your teaching years?
You know, I have so many favorite memories, but I loved my very first year when I was student teaching for Ruth Calabria. I went down into the little basement that was below the, by the library, and it had a little reading group. We cleared that area and made our own space and had a fun reading class down there. I loved the old building. It was so unique.
Did you have a favorite teacher, colleague?
Well, yeah, Ruth Calabria was my absolute favorite. She was my my supervising teacher when I student taught, and she helped me get my first job there. And I just loved. I learned so much from her about how to be a good teacher.
And just any final thing you wish to
I always have loved Keizer. When I drive by on the corner, I still see it there, even though it's gone, and have so many great memories of students and times, moments spent there. So I'm really glad this day is here so we can celebrate it.
I am a teacher. I was a teacher at Keizer Elementary from 1976 until 2006. I started as Dana Saby and became Dana Saby Wolf. I met my husband John Wolf, who taught next door to me, and we had the 2 rooms upstairs at the Keizer Heritage Center. And we taught together for many years, and then he went to another school, and I continued on teaching at Keizer Elementary until 2006 when I retired. So 30 years at the old school and at the new school.
What grade did you teach?
I taught 3rd through 5th grade. Absolutely wonderful.
Do you have a favorite memory that you want to share with us?
One of the favorite memories that we had is when we walked from the old school to the new school. And when we were inside the new school, it was so quiet compared to being on River Road, and our windows were right there, listening to all the traffic. And so when we went to the old school, it was like, quiet, Jerry, or something. And the kids were going, no, what? I said, exactly right, you don't hear anything. So it was wonderful.
Do you have a favorite teacher or colleague you worked with?
I had Betty Hoback and Sherry Fisher, really close friends, Kathy Bernot, and of course my husband John Wolf, and just absolutely loved the old school and the new school as well. And it was so much fun watching the children come back, children of students that I had had before, and having them come back and say hello. So.
Any last memories you want to share with us today?
No, I told the kids that the reason they saved the Keizer Heritage is because Mr. and Mrs. Wolf met here, and so that's why they built it here. They kept it here and renewed it and worked on it, and because it was special. Thank you.
I'm Florence Carter.
And what year did you teach?
Well, I'm trying to remember that, but I came over from Hayesville, and I started Hayesville in 76, probably 78, and I taught up until 2000.
What grade did you teach?
2nd grade.
Second grade. And you have a favorite overall experience from those teacher years or memory teaching years?
Great staff and wonderful children. Even the naughty ones were fun.
Did you have a favorite maybe colleague that you recall working with? Or
Did I have a
a
what?
favorite colleague or peer teacher that you
Oh, I've worked a lot with Faye Cummings, Sherry Fisher, Betty Hoback. I can't remember all their names. Vi Carlisle. There's a whole bunch of them.
Anything else you want to add for posterity?
Pardon
Anything
me?
else you want to add for posterity? Anything else?
No, just I hope I'm here for the next one.
Neil Harris.
And what years did you teach at Keizer Elementary?
See, I started in the fall of 1984 and retired in 2003.
And what was you have a favorite memory of those teaching years?
I think the favorite memory was probably the staff. We had a great staff. The old building lent itself to pulling pranks on each other. And so I think it was just staff interactions.
Do you have maybe I'd say a favorite teacher you work with or colleague?
All of them were good to work with, yeah. I had a special ed classroom.
Anything additional you might want to add for posterity?
No, the biggest thing for us, we were in the staff that did the transition to the new school. And I used to go over every day and take pictures as it was being built and put together an album which is now out on the table for people to see, showing the building, the new Keizer School being built. And that was fun. Yep.
Ray Hansen.
And what years did you teach?
I taught in this building here, or the old Keizer School, from 1966 to 1996.
And what grades or did you teach?
Fourth, fifth, or sixth grade, depending on the year.
And do you have a favorite memory or experience you recall from the old Keizer Elementary?
Oh, there were many memories that were outstanding. I think just the relationship with the staff and the students was probably the biggest memory that I have, or best.
Do you have a favorite colleague or teacher that you recall especially working with?
Oh, I remember Mickey McClure as being one of my favorite ones, Bill McCoy, Dorothy Carpenter. There's many, many of them.
Anything you wish to add for posterity? Additional?
Oh, I think just for posterity, I think the Keizer Heritage Foundation has done a wonderful job as far as restoring the old fourth grade, what I call the old fourth grade section of Keizer School. Come see us.
My maiden name is Alicia De Los Reyes.
And what years did you go?
I started there in first grade, 1981, and completed fifth grade, ending in 1986.
Did you have a favorite teacher when you were there?
No, I don't believe so.
What was your favorite overall memory?
There's a couple of them. I always loved the unbirthday that Mr. Guile would do for the students. If your birthday was in the summertime, you were never celebrated throughout the school year, and so 6 months after your birthday, then you would get to kind of have a little celebration, and that was always appreciated. The other couple memories that really stick out in my mind are, and I don't remember why we did it, but all of the classes would go out into the hallways and we sang "We Are the World." And then I specifically remember the day that the Challenger went down, and I was helping Mrs. Carter with something in the morning, and she came in and was just frantic about the Challenger coming down, but it was just... Darn it, sorry about that. It was just very memorable.